Hello, I am Brandon, the humble host of Actual Play Broadcast. This will serve as an introduction to our broadcast for the time being. As we record and publish more, it shall change. We are still getting things set up, so apologies for any errors, skips, or silence that may occur. Everything will be smoothed out in due time. Please enjoy our broadcasts of various RPGs, and remember to tune in for more every week, as continuations or new adventures will be posted at such times. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
No, this is the first thing. This is the first thing the recording gets. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Actual Play Broadcast.
I'm just going to preemptively say this. We're sorry.
Nothing silly has been going on.
God, no. I'm getting mead. I need more mead in my life.
I think perhaps we got a little too silly with that.
Nothing silly happened. Brandon just developed terminal laughing disease.
Yeah. So speaking of mead, we have no massive news stuff. So let's just go to the recap.
No.
So this is Aldfair, in case it wasn't communicated through the laughter.
Yeah.
You clicked on the episode. You can. I mean, if you're visually impaired, maybe you can't read. Maybe I'm an asshole. Welcome to Aldfair.
Wow, Brandon.
Welcome to episode number here of Aldfair.
Ableist fuckstick.
And now I have a GIF stuck in my head, and I think everybody knows what GIF it is.
I don't.
I'll do. You'll learn in a minute. But quick recap: we flew and found our way back to Aparo.
We argued about the best way to make contact for like 30 minutes.
And then we just walked in.
Yeah, then we just parked outside in the front lawn and walked in.
Hey, we sent the ship off.
Oh, we were brought in.
We were escorted.
Yeah, but I mean, we walked up to like the front door and be like, "Sup, we're back."
But we've found out that there's a new king in charge, and he's been in charge for 4 years. So, you know, that month and like 2 days that we were dead, 4 years passed.
Yeah, the new King of Marlowe, also known as King Dickhead.
Well, we weren't dead for that month. We were fixing Castian.
Yeah.
Um,
we were dead for 4 years. We spent a month getting back.
But no, we told King Marlowe and High Hand that we died, but we got better. Only kind of explained it to High Hand about what that really means and why that happened. He decided to drown that idea.
He seemed
Yeah. Meanwhile, we found out that Nehedo is it's not outlawed, like you won't get in official trouble for it, but it's generally worship of Nehedo is generally frowned upon. They have instead replaced it with Goreth, along with the minor deity of artifice and the Lady of Bones. They had Marlowe decided to make contact with us. So we first thinged to him and found him with tamed dire lions,
And a
as
harem.
well as 4 not scantily but lightly clad women hanging on him. One drow, Lady Silvermoon, a collegiate survivor named Axon, and another human who we did not identify.
I have to wonder if they always still like that, or only when someone has an audience with him.
There's a part of me that hopes that only when he has an audience, he sits there and goes, places, places, places.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure which is worse. I split off from the group to go talk to Goreth first while they enjoyed a meal. And I walked by what is known as the Ma Shrine, and that is the looks like the main temple to Goreth. They had lots of werebats just chilling and talking because Goreth has evidently eased up on them, and they are essentially just people now.
We got to try the local dishes, found out how things have progressed. Apparently, after an amount of time of just brutality, such as killing the aristocracy for the most part, doesn't seem like it killed every member, just like I guess key members or like head of houses. That wasn't made clear.
Yeah, he had a year of like pretty brutal child labor, killing all the aristocracy, which is funny given he came from them.
Nope, not going to say that comment. And like, mind you, like one of my cousins is still alive, who was part of the nobility. That's so it doesn't look like he killed everybody that was part of nobility.
Well, I'm gonna be real. This isn't like a canon explanation, but this is just my own theory crafting. I don't think it's a coincidence that she's a woman and got to live.
and it's something that we explore. I mean, I do plan to talk to her, or you could just like kill the head of households.
Yeah,
because when there was two, it's not hard.
Which we probably should have led with. We've all been relieved of our positions, so none of us are government officials anymore.
Okay.
I mean, he might have just killed people enough to like convince the rest of the aristocracy to stop being aristocracy.
Yeah, I don't think he went on a full headhunt. It sounds like he just made examples of.
Yeah.
But we still have to determine the extent.
Yeah.
Another person of note that we met was Prextor, which was Marlowe's magical advisor. I'm guessing his magister. He seemed to have at least truth detection magic, as when we met with Marlowe, he assured Marlowe everything we said was the truth, even if we were a little vague as to some of the explanations.
And
then we all had a conversation with Gorath.
Yeah, we all
who was, evidently chilled the fuck out.
Yeah,
he apologized to us. We apologized to him. We're probably not cool, but you know, we're in an amicable place.
Yeah,
and Marlowe had helped him see through his rage in the meantime.
Yeah, which you know, Marlowe probably has mythic levels from that, so
that's fine.
That'll be fun.
That's fine. We like
if it comes to a fight, there are more of us.
Yeah,
it's true.
Like we haven't determined whether or not Marlowe is a complete shithead. He took the fast way to getting everything to where we wanted it to. Whether or not that means that he himself has chilled out now because like kids are running around the streets and child labor was stopped. We're trying to figure out if he was posturing when we first arrived. It's just like, all right, you're not going to sit here and just fucking kick me off the throne. That ain't going to happen. Or if his default setting is I have chip on shoulder and I'm going to fucking wave my dick around.
I'm gonna be real. Like as discussed last time, at least from my character's point of view, even if that was posturing, it was very chip on shoulder posturing that left bad image.
But yeah, so right now we are in no positions of power. We are just, you know, normal everyday citizens. On the bright side, we all are getting either apartments or houses. I don't think he fully mentioned which. I think he said that
we're at least being sheltered.
Yeah, we're being sheltered, but and there is a slight homelessness problem that hasn't been explored yet.
Yeah, he was also very clear on if we make any kind of moves to want our positions back in any way, that there will be problems.
Slapped with ruinous fines. We'll be slapped with ruinous fines.
Wait, that would suck.
That may be the Joker, but even I won't mess with the IRS.
I mean, that's fair.
And then they have created the Homeowners Association over here.
Oh God, he is evil.
Yeah, in that case, time to leave.
No, that at that point he would be evil. We also expanded into other hexes.
Yeah, we have the hexes surrounding our original encampment explored and claimed.
But there is also apparently a dragon nearby that's been kind of sniffing around.
That is one that is separate in physiology from the ones we know back west.
Yeah, it sounds like from the dragon stuff that it's something that's happened every so many months for a little while. It's not been a regularly occurring nuisance, but it's a thing. It's out there somewhere.
Oh, and Caius fucked off.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not entirely shocked by that.
He just kind of left one day
Eh,
while we were gone. He went. I have it in my notes. Southeast.
Yes, roughly where we came from.
I was gonna say probably passed over him.
Maybe.
Or possibly. Imagine he made it to the woods after those 4 years, and then we just zip on back, and he gets a message from the Red Raven. Is like, hey, guess where you gotta go? Yeah, go back.
I feel like the Red Raven would tell him only because it would be really funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the majority of. There's the Red Vampire thing is still the core.
Yeah, we
Corvorid?
have our red lineage vampire still around.
And he's still
That's
around
been a
him,
major
yet to catch
problem
him.
still, apparently.
Yeah, to the point that people are doing like shapeshifter checks with artifacts now.
Yeah. And the Dominion has ships similar to Castian, our ship that got us here.
They at least have ships that
Well,
can fly. We don't know how similar.
Yeah, we don't know how dissimilar past being airships they are to Castian.
But they shot it down, killed everybody inside, and moved on from there.
Based on what we know about the Dominion, I think that's the correct response.
I mean, yeah, fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll note that.
You all also dined on some of the, I guess you could call it cuisine that's been developed. It's not everything they figured out, but some of the more popular food that they have figured out from the local flora and fauna. Briskets and somebody had one of the salads.
The wraps.
Yeah. And
honestly, you had
a lot of spice too. A lot of spice and a lot of hard liquor and mead.
Yes, firewater or moonshine.
Yeah. So it is currently the 5th year of the 7th Age. It is the 7th day of Ligerdau, the 7th month of the 10-month year. You are sitting there, or you are just on the tail end of evening, having stepped out of the burrow from which leads to the cave where Goreth rests. You all have emerged. The last rays of the sun are dipping beyond the horizon, and a familiar night sky is settling in above you. What would you like to do?
A little odd to be here and not worrying about going back to the ships with the sundown.
I'm sure many here find that to be welcome.
They seem integrated.
I mean, yeah, without a forced transformation causing people to go violently crazy, along with it being infectious. I mean, it seems fairly easy to integrate, so that's nice.
I suppose on that note, I should let you all know I will be paying fairly regular visits here. Given our encounters, many things to talk about with Goreth, should he be willing to talk about them with me.
Do you want to help me catch a lion?
I suppose I could.
Because we have a serious lion problem apparently, as they are continuing to try to encroach and harass people, especially on the roads. And B, it is probably one of the more capable things that we can sit there and catch and deliver as an offering alive to Gorath.
Alive?
Yes.
Well, I am going to tell you right now, I can help you get it ready, but I will not be doing the binding.
Okay.
I assume you can put it to sleep.
Yes, I figured that would be a piece of cake. Cake sounds good.
They might have some.
I can't even remember the last time I had cake.
Perhaps it is just my stubbornness talking, but I am fairly wary of all of this right now. And with that, I would like to make a perception check. I'm worried about people watching us. That cool?
Sure. Go for it.
While you make that roll,
Excellent.
I mean, I'm concerned that King Marlowe doesn't quite trust us coming back and playing nice. I have no intention at the moment to do anything to disrupt his role if the people are content. And
Yeah.
26.
He came after us about that very readily, though.
Yes, and honestly, the whole show he put on was fairly the word escapes me, but I was displeased.
I mean, it kind of strikes me as something that, I mean, as a follower of the first beast, it could be behavior that is meant to be beast-like, the kind of territorial posturing that
Yes, it's
a powerful predator would do.
Marlowe on the whole is one of the things I have on my list to talk to Gorath about. I want to get from the deity's point of view how Marlowe has been.
I assume his opinion will be positive, considering Marlowe's the one who helped him out mentally.
Yeah, I assume so, but there might still be things to glean from how he answers.
Yeah.
Urstel.
I've a long list.
Urstel. Yeah. Do you have something
Just
to add?
so everyone knows, Urstel's technically not with the group.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. You didn't go in.
Exactly.
I think he
The
ran.
group is
came
back
out.
outside. So
Yeah.
did you leave while they were in, or did you wait?
No, Urstel was probably actually wandered off.
Cool.
I will come to you in a moment then. Sveta looking around. There are some werebats lingering. Some wander off. A couple still linger. Kind of half watching you all, half chatting amongst themselves. While you all consider what you would like to do, Ursa, where have you wandered off to?
Urstel has wandered back into his city because now it is time to mentally map out the new zones.
Okay. So it's going to take some time. Just so we're clear, it is about 1800. It's dark out. Obviously, there are lamp lights and stuff within the city. I will both remind you and the rest of the group, you do have to locate the person who is supposed to be assigning you living space and figure out where that is. But if you want to spend your night mapping the city, by all means. Because it's going to take a while.
Oh yeah, this is just him kind of starting that process.
Is you can do it all night and still not be done.
Oh, 100%.
So, yeah. So how much time do you want to devote to this?
A couple hours, and then once it starts getting really past the setting of the sun and getting into actual nighttime, he'll go.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. Is it's getting into nighttime.
It's the winter time, right?
Yes, this is. Yeah, you all looped back around to like the tail end of fall, going into winter again.
We also specifically had to go to the conjunction in the evening.
And this isn't my level of winter. I random rolled how much time passed within a certain threshold, and it plopped you into this time of year.
That's funny.
Fair.
Okay, that's fine. Ursal does have dark vision, which he's going to test, test how well it works in the city. So the 2-hour thing is still going to be what he's going to do. He'll just do it for
Like
a
I
couple
said,
hours.
there are lamplights and stuff. It will certainly help in some alleyways. On the streets, not great because there's actually a decent amount of lights. And you do notice that these are not magic lamps like they were in 8-Ax. These are like actual oil lamps. And there seems to be, from what you can tell, a lamplighter guild that is responsible for this task. However, you do notice these lamplighters, they are all armed. They openly carry blades. And some of them do openly eye you with some suspicion, seeing you wandering around the streets, scribbling away on your notepad.
Yep.
None of them stop you, they don't harass you, but they see you and they see you seeing them.
I guess one of the things I would want to do, or Ursal would want to do, is also keep an eye out for similar shadows that he encountered when he remembers seeing from when they first entered the city.
Okay. Give me a percentage roll.
Percentage or perception?
Percentage.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing that wrong.
Yep. There's a chance you might run into them. Maybe you don't.
Make sure it's on Dice Maiden instead of the other bot. I roll 86.
If you keep your eye out, you don't see the familiar tail during this time.
Okay.
So you carry on with that. The rest of you, what would you like to do? You are outside the borough right now, or what was the borough? The conjunction is now closed.
Well, I suppose it's time to find lodging for the night. Admittedly, I have half a mind just to go back to the ship and take my rest in Castian.
Well, you're more than allowed to do so. I'm going to try to track down whoever would be assigning us housing, as we were promised some. So.
It would be good to get that figured out anyway.
I suppose I can make my decision once we see the housing.
Somebody told me roughly where my remaining family is. At least where my sister is. I think they can find my dad, but that's normal.
They said he's around, I think was the answer.
Yeah. He's still here, but
sort of disappeared into the masses, right?
Yeah. That is what Sir High-Hand said.
Mm-hmm.
He's confident he's around, but he's elusive.
Yeah, that's fine. If possible, I would like to try to get lodging near my sister, just because, I mean, being by family is good.
Yes.
Well, you have no idea.
I don't remember exactly where that was. I want to say you said it was near the docks.
Yep.
No, we should find the person that's going to give us lodging, and perhaps we can raise that as a concern.
Yeah. Were we given any directions to find that particular person? I don't remember.
No, you were not.
Oh. Were we told who to talk to?
He said that a ticket would be put in with the housing authority.
Oh. Well, if there's a building that's labeled as the housing authority, we should go there. Otherwise, I guess we'll sleep in Castian tonight.
I'm just still, whether it is right or wrong, worried about action being taken against us.
Even if Marlowe's a mean guy, I don't think everyone's out to get us.
No, not everyone, just the man in charge.
I don't know. He was surrounded by like a horde of lions and himself and like 4 or 5 other people. I went at the time we met him. I think if he wanted to do something to us, he would have just done it.
He was sizing us up. I mean, I did the same, so I don't blame him for doing such a thing. But he took our measure. I don't know if he found us wanting. I don't know if he felt threatened by us. He certainly didn't show anything that led me to believe the latter.
I mean, he did instantly come at us about not taking the positions back. So,
I mean,
that says something, but
it does.
It could
but
just be an ego thing. I don't know.
It could be an ego thing,
know.
and it also could be that he did a lot of work trying to get this city on a path, and he doesn't want us to just rip it away from him. He quite potentially just felt defensive.
Well, there's a lot to do, and like I said, I may just be paranoid after almost every interaction we've had with a new party being hostile.
Like terrible, yeah.
My thoughts
at any rate,
turn to, it is one thing to execute us publicly when we return, it's another if we quietly disappear.
I mean, at any rate, if we can't figure out where we're supposed to live by tonight, we don't really have a choice but to sleep in the ship.
I just won't sleep.
True.
Well,
you need to sleep.
Eventually, yes.
No, you need to sleep. As your not advisor retinue, you need to sleep.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about us not having our positions anymore. You're not beholden to a title or any position of having to give a shit.
I
will make you sleep.
I guess that's...
And that is a threat I can follow up on.
I mean, I'll just wake up in a minute, won't I? It's not very effective. It's a waste of both mine and yours time.
Not with the bat.
Right, so do you all want to actually go to bed sometime tonight? And
right.
It becomes readily apparent Sir High Hand has walked up to you all at this point and completely oblivious you all have been.
Oh,
yes, sorry.
Do you know who we're supposed to talk to about housing?
There's a building a few doors down from where I took you to see the king. It's the housing authority.
Oh, perfect. Do they see people this late at night?
If he gave them a ticket, like he said, and you needed to be housed tonight, I am sure they are dutifully at their post, expecting you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. Follow
Sorry to just be standing around.
It's been
no, just as a reminder, the city is not on your time anymore. So it's
I'll be frank, I'm not sure it ever was with all that went on.
Right. He'll lead you back to that street that you once had tents on. That was once nothing more than a dirt path.
Yeah.
Which he has, as he's walking, and he's kind of talking about some parts of the city that have developed. You find out that part of the city is now known as High Street. And he leads you to a reasonably sized building. It looks like it's 2 stories. Nothing terribly large, though. and you see there's a sign on the door that reads Housing Authority in common, and he leads you inside, and he does most of the talking for you since you all aren't used to this process. It's a relatively how to describe him? Kind of thin, older gentleman with sparse gray hair, a pair of reading spectacles, from what you guess, who has a separate key for each of you that he gives you all. All the keys are different. And the keys have like little parchment tags with numbers written on them. And explains there are apartments that have been made available or are being provided, and there's an explanation of, no disturbing the peace. Yes, it's enforced. There is, don't be obnoxious in the wee hours of the night, that type of thing. And all that fun stuff. As well as if this is going to be a long-term arrangement, rent is due at the end of the month.
How much does it cost?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a moment. Okay, no, just to double check something. Yeah, rent will be due at the end of the month. The rent is. That's actually a great question.
Oh, goody, rent.
I had taxes figured out. I forgot about rent.
I never thought I'd have to deal with rent.
Yeah, it was something I always heard about
Back
cities
in-
from passersby in Violet Maple, but
Yeah, I mean, in Violet Maple, I
That's
just had
about
my parents' place to maintain. Then when we came to ADAX, we had that situation. Coming here, we're suddenly the ones with the big tents.
yeah,
It's
A
going to
couple of years
be
have been very eventful.
it's going to be a gold a month.
Oh boy.
Nothing crazy to you all. Although thinking about how much money you brought in yearly back in Violet Maple, it's not a small amount of gold, but okay. And
we haven't
Sir
exactly
High
made
Hand,
money.
yeah. Sir High Hand will thank the gentleman for his time and will apologize for the delay. And then we'll lead you all towards the docks. In that general direction. He refers to the area as the beach streets. You see the city is actually expanded towards the beach, and you can see roads that lead off to the docks on either sides of the bay, and closer to where the fisheries and the fishing docks are and all that. You see there are a couple other, not as tall as the original apartment buildings, but you do see some apartment buildings that were constructed, or tenements rather. And he will help you locate the apartments that have been made available to you. They're on the third floor. And they're all fairly close to each other. You're all on the same floor, but you're not like, neighbors. For the most part, you all are like generally within eye shot of each other, but you are spread out based off of what was available, and you each have your own tenement or apartment or whatever you want to call it. Inside these apartments, they are pretty much bare, aside from a cot and a folded like wool blanket. Well, yeah, wool. I think wool is fine. Well, it comes from sheep.
There might be a sheep adjacent.
Probably. It's probably blankets made out of aurochs pelts, more than likely, because they've been farming aurochs a lot, and they don't like to waste it because they're big animals.
Yeah.
So, but these apartments are also small. They are pretty tiny. There is pretty much enough room to kind of like, actually, let me give you a rough measurement to give you an idea of these things.
Yeah. Reminds Toke of when he was living in the chapel.
Yeah. These apartments are like 10 by 15 feet. Like, living by yourself, it's fine. You know, it's a room to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring in some equipment to do so, you could cook in here. You could get like chests to store stuff and such, but right now it is a rectangular room with a cot and a blanket.
Yeah. So it's like a
And
cell.
one window.
We're just not locked in it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have a door with a decent lock. It's like an actual fucking key. And one window that does actually have like a pane in it, and you can open it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if
You did notice coming through the building, very few people out and about. It's fairly quiet. Looks like people go to bed pretty much when the sun goes down, at least in this building.
It's kind of surprising when like half the population are bad people.
Mm.
Yeah.
I guess
wonder
there are
if
more
you
people than
can,
that, though.
I wonder if you can pay many amounts at the time.
If what?
If you can pay for many moments at a time.
Oh, if you can do like a lease.
Mm-hmm. Because if we're gonna be traveling, it might be good to know that is still around.
If we're going to be traveling, I may.
I mean, to be fair, we still don't know at all what we'll be doing.
Very true. I doubt that there is much position for disgraced diplomat.
Well, we still don't basically know anything about the surrounding area, so that's basically what my plan to suggest that we do. It's just help out with figuring out what's around us, because we still have a problem with the Dominion being around, and I would rather we know in advance if
Well,
we're gonna get
we've only had the one ship in the 4 years that we've been gone.
Yeah, well,
So I don't know how much more present a threat from the Dominion is. In fairness, the first experience was exiles, so I doubt the Greater Dominion even understood. And if there was a scouting ship and they're many months away, it could still be years before they even realize that the scouting ship should come back.
yeah, well, then scouting on our own is good.
I just mean to say it may not behoove us to try to focus too hard on Dominion presence when other more pressing issues are around that we could be looking out for.
Well, knowing what's around us more and more and solving any problems that arise around us is probably going to help us too.
Yes. That said, I doubt we'll make any decision tonight. Let's
Good question.
see to getting some sleep.
Has anyone seen our style?
To be honest, I'm getting a little bit maybe too used to him.
So, cut to Earth style. It's around this time that you're reaching the end of your 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You've, we'll say, you probably have, let's see. I'm gonna say you're gonna end your night on the high street because you know you need to get your housing figured out. And you left from where the borough was, so
Mm-hmm.
did I not mark which was the northernmost portion? Okay, let's see. So we're gonna say you've mapped the tents in High Street.
Okay.
The tents is densely populated. It looks to be mostly housing. There are some businesses here and there. The Maw Shrine is also there. It's kind of the north part of the city, and it's packed. You do notice there's also a notable amount of like what you assume to be the homeless population hanging out in this area.
Oh.
Yeah. That said, you make your way towards High Street. You map it as you find your way to the housing authority. That sounds like the place you need to go. You make your way inside, and you find the thin older gentleman patiently waiting there with a key. And he explains the same thing that was explained to the others. It's 2 gold every month if this is going to be a long-term thing. You can find the tenement building down by the fishing docks, down at the beach streets. And sends you on your way. And then he exits behind you, locks up the housing authority, and you presume he begins walking home.
Okay.
Wait, it's 2 gold a month?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought you said told us 1 gold.
Okay, my bad.
Oh, good. Just wanted to make sure, check
yeah.
if they were upcharging him, which would have been funny.
You made me wait longer past the closing hours. You 2 gold a month.
None of you have done something heinous enough to warrant that kind of bias of spite.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
even you 4 years and some change later.
I mean, I could see that guy just being like, "You made me stay up a whole other hour beyond the like already late these assholes did, so 2 gold for you."
But or so you eventually make your way down and find the building in question, and you eventually figure out you're on the 3rd floor because the old man did not tell you that part.
Oh, that's fine.
So you had to go floor by floor trying to find the appropriate room number. Because they didn't figure to actually number the rooms by floor. Like they didn't go, oh, this is going to be 101, 102, 103, and then 201, 202, 203, and then 303. They didn't do that. They just literally numbered it 1, 2, whatever the last room number is. So you eventually find your place upstairs where you find the rest of your group half lingering in a hallway, half in an open door to one of these apartments.
Night, everybody. Oh, there's your style.
Oh, there you are.
Yes. I found
Raise
him.
his hand. Raise his hand in acknowledgement. Goes to door. Looks at key. Looks at keyhole. Looks at key.
All right, I need a dexterity save.
Yeah, God, please no. Is this part of the 44 rules?
An apartment gimmick.
God, that joke is gonna be so fucking old when I post this.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, for tonight, Style will not do anything too much. He'll go to bed. He'll open the door. He'll open the door normally with the key, and then start getting.
So you open the door. A tongue reaches out, and you die. No kidding.
That's one of the 40 rules. I know that one.
Okay.
Being by apartment.
No, you see an apartment room described exactly like the other one was. Plain bed, Aurochs pelt blanket, one window. It's a room.
Okay. First, I will have some more investigation of other stuff in the morning.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else they would like to do tonight, or are you all ready to sleep?
I will cast my spell that says I don't have to sleep, and I will pretend to sleep for 8 hours as I wait to see if anyone tries to accost me in my room, red
Seems
vampire or
perfectly healthy
otherwise.
behavior.
Perfectly healthy behavior.
Yeah, that's fine. Speaking of healthy behavior, I'm going to talk to my grandfather.
Okay. All right. So everybody disperses to their rooms in the various parts of the hallway. And yeah, give me a percentage roll.
Is there any kind of lighting
Leona?
built into this room, by the way? I'm not using it.
No, there's no lighting built in. It's without any casted light. There is actually very little moonlight because it is it's a waxing crescent fading right now.
Okay.
Rose shades
So
down.
it is pretty fucking dark in here because there's barely any moonlight coming in through the window, and the street lamps are far enough below you to not matter.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I was going to make it dark in here, but it did make me think about, like,
Yeah, it is. It is perfectly shadowy in here with dark corners.
Nice. I don't know if that actually helps at all, but it does certainly set the mood for talking to it.
You certainly think it does. Whether or not it actually does, who could say, but
yeah,
it feels right.
Yeah. And when you have dark vision, you don't have to bother with that stuff anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
man. I rolled a 1. I don't know if I'm rolling high or low, but I rolled a 1 on that percentile.
Well,
Well,
you rolled
then.
really low.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I
So-
need to roll high or low.
Yeah.
You kind of tap in and aim your attention at your well, quote unquote grandfather. However many grands exactly that is.
Yeah, there's several greats before the title of grandfather, but, you know.
And you focus in on Sky Axis, particularly now that you know for sure kind of what that place looks like, and honestly, having a close encounter of almost being dragged there after death, you kind of feel the familiar chill almost on your skin, and then the shadows begin to kind of like webs or slimes or something given life. They kind of lash together in the corner of the room, and you see a towering devilish shape going from floor to ceiling. It's about 8-foot ceilings in here, roughly. And this shadowy presence, its horns look like it would be scraping the ceiling, and there's not fine definition, but you can make out the shadowy outline of wings and the horns and clawed fingers. Maybe this is just how the shadows are taking form, or maybe this is a vague approximation of the devil himself, but Cassilian's presence here is undeniable and more powerful than you've seen before.
Yeah, I was going to say, there hasn't been a physical manifestation of the contact previously, right?
Correct. There's been vague, shadowy shiftings, but nothing quite like this.
Yeah. And given the needed wingspan for someone, that's all. I kind of imagining them like wrapping around the sides of the room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there is a pair of Stygian blue pinpricks peering out from the upper dark corner of the room where his eyes would be. So you've made it back. You've been back for a while, but I'm surprised you waited so long to talk.
Sorry. I know I should, send letters more often. I was really busy restoring a dimension ship.
I'm patient enough.
Yeah, that's good. Just wanted to check in since it has been a while. At least it was a while out here. I don't know how long it was for you. I don't know if time flows the same on different
Oh,
planes.
it's been the same amount of time for me.
As it has been for everyone out here, or for me?
Yes, for everyone out here.
I am curious about how much of our adventure you were able to witness through my shadow. I don't think I saw you there while I was actually in Necrath. But that might have just
No,
been the plane.
it was Necrath you went to.
Yes.
Now that's curious. Very curious.
You're telling me.
I should have known the old witch had a trick up her sleeve even after death.
I mean, if anyone was going to. But, I mean, I'm glad she did, though. We met her. Everyone seems to just call them servant, including themselves. I'm not sure if you've met them before, but
I am aware of the construct, yes.
yes, he was able to restore us to our selves. I'm not entirely sure which part of the process the time out here passed during. I suspect it was before that, though, when we didn't really possess consciousness or sort of empty. I want to say souls. I'm not sure if it's true. Empty husks, maybe lost in the sea in that place before we were plucked out and put back together.
Necrath is a strange phenomenon. It is part realm, part perhaps a memory. It is definitely an echo of what was.
I think
I
that
have
describes
not
it well.
I have not ventured there myself. It is actually rather difficult to venture to that place. At least now. Once upon a time, one could just walk there. Back when, everything was whole.
Yeah. We were able to learn a bit more about the history of, well, how everything became the way it is now, how things went between Ivtar, the Nephilim, Goreth, Hedir. If not every detail, a little bit more solid of a timeline. So we're more or less up to speed on that. Not entirely, but we have the broad strokes, I think. Thanks to servants' help and explanations.
So I take it you've come to learn of the, shall I say, plight of the Nephilim.
Somewhat. Well, partially, I wanted to just make sure you were caught up on what happened with us, but I did have some questions as well, some curiosity to satisfy. Um, Speaking of curiosity, it seems like you were able to manifest much more fully this time than before. Has something changed, or?
Yes, something has changed. There is some potency in your calling, but also the eyes kind of look around for a moment. You don't think they're really looking around at the room. It would seem the shroud of damnable light has been lifted in this place.
If that's related to Hetyer in particular, I think I can explain that.
Oh, yes, I've pieced it together myself. My attentions have been elsewhere over these past years. But seeing you here now, I can sense the withdrawal of his attention.
Yes. His worship seems to be, if not outlawed, certainly scorned here. I don't know exactly the legality of it, but I mean, I wasn't planning on doing it anyway, so I'm not worried about it.
So long as he is cut off in that sense. And even fewer of his remain in, well, what you would call the old world.
Yeah. If they are still there, given the state of the place, I don't imagine their faith is holding too strong either.
His faithful have some scattered holdouts, but the shadow shrugs. Their time is debatable.
I'm sure.
There are others, of course, still holding on, fighting over every inch.
Yeah. I can assume also that Aldfair wasn't the only place he was worshipped, given his position and the circumstances of.
Not the only place, but the significant one. And as, well, focused as the traitor is, it is intelligent enough to strike to disable its target. The remaining kingdoms of the old world are putting up a fight, do not get it twisted, but had Aldfair remained whole and they launched an invasion just from the north, well, I dare say his mission might have failed before it even started. And we can't have that, can we?
Well, of course, and he's been planning this for such a long time.
Yes, the shadow kind of slinks around the edge of the room a bit, avoiding what few beams of moonlight are coming in, and you see like a clawed hand kind of wrap around your chin a little bit as it kind of angles you to like inspect you almost, as if maybe seeing you for the first time. After all, we have such important business to do, and, well, we need the traitor to continue about his little crusade so that we can get you where you need to be.
I have learned a little about the traitor as well. It might be information you already have. Apparently, he's bound by some form of curse that keeps him going even beyond what would be, at least what if you can call anything normal for a lich. But he'll inexorably arise again, even if somehow destroyed, until his objective is completed, which, I mean, honestly is. There's been no small amount of collateral in his wake, but he is probably one of the most powerful single entities on the plane. And if he has.
Once
If
upon
his singular
a
goal is
time,
destroying Hetyer, then it's probably helpful.
he will let go of you and kind of move around the room, and then it'll look like he's peering out the window.
I more or less try to stay still and relaxed when he held my chin like that.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a new experience.
Yeah. You're not sure exactly what the purpose was, but it did, even though you can't really properly see his eyes other than those little pinpricks, you get the feeling he was examining you, but it's hard to say. The exact mechanics or how exactly this magic works is not clear to you. But you do know it is effort on his part to even peer into the mortal plane. And not seeing him like this, perhaps his perceptions are different.
He might actually he might be able to get a better look in this state. I mean, since it was already kind of a big deal that he was able to bind himself to me in the first place to look through my shadow.
Yeah. But he lingers there, peering out the window. Once upon a time, the traitor was cursed to reincarnate indefinitely. But the curse of this, well, the Nephilim once would have thought it a blessing. After all, their souls were damned to fade until Ivtar's little maneuver.
Yeah.
Clever girl. However, this curse was unique in the fact that, if my sources are correct, the traitor mortal was cursed to knowledge. He would remember everything from his past lives, under every reincarnation. But, well, there's a very, quiet snicker. Mortal lives are painfully short. So little time to get any real work done. Tried and tried as he might.
Can you get
but
the second half of it? It's awful.
Yes, but given enough lifetimes, enough ages, and, well, he managed to move things in such a way to circumnavigate the curse, to ignore it. And so he is as he is now, undying. Somewhere out there, I imagine he has anchored a piece of himself. Where it is, I cannot say, but these are the things I've heard.
Needing to deal with the gap in time that comes with reincarnation and growing up.
Yes, that is why he became a lich. He was already gifted in death magic, necromancy, as some would call it.
I don't think
Iftar taught him much of what she knew.
I don't think there are any other necromancers who can claim to have sculpted 3 new deities out of the corpse of one. So,
yes,
makes sense.
Well, and with every reincarnation, he was, shall we say, depowered to an extent.
So he's
another
able
little
to his power more easily.
Yes, another quirk of your mortal blood is it, well, you thin rather quickly. And going through lives like he did so many times over, well, imagine being painfully aware of how weaker you become every 50 to 60 years.
That does sound difficult to accept.
Yeah.
So is he no longer an Nephilim at all, or does at least his mind still hold some of that power, even if his body doesn't?
Oh, categorically, he is many generations removed from the Nephilim at this point. Some may still call him that, maybe out of some kind of respect or habit or some such, but he is quite removed from that state. Still powerful, mind you, but quite removed. He will not be sculpting goddesses anymore, I can tell you that much.
I suppose that bodes well, even if his level of experience as a spellcaster far outstrips anyone else on the plane, I imagine.
Oh,
we
yes.
got a little bit of at least an idea of the scale of time it's been since the Sundering. When we found our ship, I'm not sure if you were watching at the time, but we learned that he had been there for over 73,000 years. And I don't know how long after the Sundering that was, but given that I haven't been here the entire time, it was surprising that it had been that long.
You stop counting after a while.
Yeah, that's fair.
It has been a very long time.
But actually, this would be a weird question, but what is there to do anyway over that long of a time, especially in Sky Access?
Plan. Maneuver. Find the little things to entertain oneself in the short term. But mostly plan. And occasionally dip my finger in the pond. Make a little ripple to adjust things when need be, such as you.
Yeah, makes sense. Curious if I have any siblings or cousins out there who are similar.
He'll turn to face you, looking away from the window. It would be foolish of me to entrust my plan to only one candidate. Granted, you are my preferred candidate, if that helps you feel better about it. But
Well, no.
there are others.
Be interesting to meet them. I'm glad I still hold that status after the way I died last time. That was. We shouldn't have trusted Hattier. Clearly.
You shouldn't have fought the beast. I tried to warn you, child.
Yeah, there was a large part of me that knew it wasn't a good idea, but I had hoped that with the resources we had been given, we would be able to tip the scales a bit, but it didn't end up mattering. I do have to wonder why.
Count yourself lucky that Hettier was outplayed by countless millennia.
I certainly won't push it either. I do have to wonder why Hettier would send that many of his few remaining followers to their deaths, though. Even if it were just the one, the High Priestess, along with the rest of us, it would make sense. It seemed like he was trying to get rid of, well, if not all of us, at least Tilk in particular, since I think he would have been more aware of him. But he did also get a lot of his clerics and other followers killed in the process. And with so few worshippers remaining, that doesn't seem like a good move.
Followers are not everything. They are additive. Salt for the meat. Honey for your bread.
I was under the impression they were more.
A god is still a god at the end of the day. Compared to another god, if they have no followers, are they weaker? Yes. But they are disposable. So long as the disposal is beneficial.
Yeah.
Clearly, Hettier made a miscalculation. But how could he know a nemesis from countless eons past had already outmaneuvered him when she was long out of the game?
Yeah, that's a fair miscalculation.
I
And I
applaud
suppose-
his gumption, but
I mean, yeah.
like I said, how could he know?
I suppose if he isn't planning on fighting any other gods anytime soon, he'll probably be okay. Though I do know a god who's planning on fighting him, so maybe he won't be.
Oh, there are several. They are amassing. You have to understand, child.
I guess he hasn't made friends with them, has he?
Oh no, we are entering, some might say, the belly of the whale. Terminus is in full swing. The child walks the mortal plane. I have heard whispers of this. And there are more gods defecting to the, some might say, rebel faction.
I suppose his reputation with the rest of them can't have been that great after the Sundering and his war against Iftar.
Gods abiding by Hettier is a matter of convenience. After all, being banished to realms considered uncomfortable is not an appeasing idea. So, best to play along and just avoid for as long as one can.
So it's not just Goreth, then.
Oh no. The way I hear, and from what I can see here, Zenara is already beginning to defect, and almost certainly tugging on those friendly with her.
Zenara I could definitely see, given her more recent ascension than the others. If
Oh,
he's
yes.
plotting against mortal kind, I'm sure she would have a problem with it. The tricky part, though, I think, at least tricky to me so far, would be letting those gods out of the realms they've been banished into. Goreth is absolutely ready and willing to fight and kill Hettier given the opportunity. I just don't know how he could be given the opportunity.
Yes, most of the gods remain in Salion. However, there are the few like Goreth who are outside of it. When the time comes, there will have to be a way found to break him free of this bondage and to open the way to Salion. But once the war is underway, it could prove, well, easier.
With Hettier's attention divided.
Oh, it's not even about his attention. My sweet, innocent granddaughter. What is one thing every war has in gross commonality?
Death?
And how do you make somebody die?
There are a lot of ways. Which one are you getting at, though?
You make them leak.
Hmm.
So much blood being spilled, so much life essence, so much raw power.
Does that give the rest of these gods something to draw upon, or Gorath in particular?
If they are practiced in certain arts, they can take advantage of it, but I imagine many in Leon think themselves too high and mighty. But that could prove to be our back door.
Is that something that we could take advantage of, or is that the purview of deities? Not that I'm exactly hoping to walk into Leon quite yet. I don't think I'm ready for that.
It is very likely going to be our way in. Blood magic is very powerful, very potent.
Interesting. And that's something that could be taken advantage of just ambiently as a war rages on.
I will explain the finer points when that time draws closer. For now, it is not something to weigh on your mind. You have more pressing things to do. You and your friends, your contingent, your allies, coterie, whatever you might call them. For now, you should focus on power, on getting stronger. Whatever means possible. You are still blooming. Now you need to grow.
Yes. It did seem like the act of coming back from the dead provided a bit of growth to our mythic abilities, though I am not keen on trying that one again. So I want to find something else.
Experience is the key. Learn. Go out. See things. There are, well, gathering power is always a vague thing, but when you do the right thing, you will know. Just trust your instincts.
Of course. Maybe I can start with seeing what's going on in the city and if I can be involved with anything worthwhile. If not, at the very least, I'm sure working on my magic won't hurt.
The shadow peers out the window again. I do not think it is worth wasting your time amongst these people.
Why do you say that?
Look at them. They are a husk of what was, clinging to recreate a greatness that they are far off from recapturing. They are surviving. They have done well to recover, no small part due to you and yours. But let us be honest. There is little here for you.
That's fair. It was made very clear to us that we shouldn't seek any kinds of positions of power. And the only one who might be able to do anything within the purview that I work in was clinging to King Marlowe's side when we saw her. So I don't know exactly where she stands. Well, I know where she stands. I don't know what she's doing with her life right now.
Yes, I will.
I know what she and her group are trying to do.
Your mission is far more important than them. Stepping stones, granddaughter, stepping stones.
There is King Marlowe himself. I am wondering if he'll be a problem. after calming the chronic rage of an ancient deity, I have to assume he gained some of the mythic growth that we would have gotten.
He is a boy. With power, yes. I can see that much. But he is a boy who, when you left, was enthralled to the beast and still gives ear to the beast. Do not mind him.
I guess
See to your mission. And in time, you will surpass, if you have not already surpassed him. And when your mission is done, if the creature still disgusts you, erase him. But eyes on the prize, granddaughter. Eyes on the prize. And then the shadow begins to unweave and disperses.
Well, if you don't think he'll be a problem, I'll trust you on that. Once he leaves, I'll start getting ready for bed. But I just lay awake for a while, just thinking before finally falling asleep.
Cool. All right. So,
Sorry if that took a long time, everybody.
You're all good.
I imagine that was insightful for everybody.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain about lore dumps, even if I'm not the one asking the questions.
I did want to ask him exactly where devils come from, but that can happen later. It's not as pressing.
Oh, when a mommy devil and a daddy devil really get kinky.
Fuck up.
If only it were that simple.
There would probably be a lot more devils if that were the case.
There has to be at least one whip, 5 bottles of loot.
Oh God,
It's a really involved
the
process.
HOA.
Yeah. So the next morning comes. It is the 8th of Ligerdow. Dawn comes roughly 6 in the morning. You all are probably not in the habit of necessarily waking at dawn. Your body clocks are kind of fucked up from being in the abyssal forest.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of disorienting to be woken up by sunlight for like the first time in over a month.
I'm going to keep living here.
But yes,
And get a curtain.
The cruel day star awakes you.
I assume I was not accosted while I was pretending to sleep.
Nope.
Okay.
Like, no, about that. Make a new character.
Sveta checks over herself. Yep, arms are working, legs are working. Looks like she didn't wake up dead.
Yep. All of you have been you've made it through the night unmolested.
We'll get up and go out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll head out and linger in the hall a bit, see if I can meet up with some of the rest of our group. Maybe find something to eat.
You all see some of the other tenants as you're like filtering out of your rooms. Other tenants are making their way out of their rooms. Some of them, when they pass by, they just kind of give you a nod and say, morning or whatever.
Morning.
Not particularly like smiley or anything. A lot of these people, they look like working folk. They're not like particularly disheveled or anything, but they definitely look like people who work for a living. And you do hear, like, in the distance, bells from the docks ringing. And there is a general, like, a very low din in the building of, like, chatter and some chatter from what sounds like outside of just the city kind of beginning to come to life.
All right. So
it feels weird to be back in this kind of environment.
Sveta will probably be the last one out, or up and about rather, just given that she has to spend the hour communing with her familiar.
Oh, I guess I have to kind of do that too to prepare spells, but
Yeah.
more of a meditation than anything else. I also
Say
might
you all.
up a little late after the conversation.
We'll say you all convene at 7.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so it's a brand new day, and I mean, more or less, whole new world. 4 years have passed.
Yeah. Well, once we're all together, I think we should try to find something to eat.
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Sounds like a plan.
I wonder if they have a notice board of more dangerous work than he's done.
There we go. All right, I've decided all
maybe.
my spells for the day.
Well,
I have been
Tilka, if
thinking
we
about
wanted
that.
to handle that lion thing, we may want to do that sooner rather than later.
True.
Just because it may take our day.
Zemian.
Yes.
Before Urstel leaves his room,
Yep.
he's going to make a quick little note, rip it out of his notebook, and he's going to leave it on his bed.
Okay. Anything in particular you want to put on that note or anything?
It would have been something that his connections would be familiar with as a looking to meet up kind of notice.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. If anyone ever goes looking through his room.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's your contacts that go looking through your room and not anyone that we don't want going through your room and knowing where your meetup spot is.
I mean, I suppose that's why that's the code.
I mean, a
Yeah,
question would be,
it's not an actual thing of where to meet. It's just more of this is a signal for looking to meet.
Yeah, it would have been like, "What's up, hotshot?" and that means something to his contacts.
Something
I
like
hope
that.
it says it like that.
Yeah.
Something to think
Like-
about, though. What?
Like and subscribe. Oh, that means he wants to meet at the tavern.
Oh, jeez. Smash that like button.
No, that means he obviously wants to meet at the pool.
Whoa, there's a pool?
Um,
It
But-
is probably good to think about whether they are still your contacts or not. It has been longer since we left than the amount of time we were here, after all.
That's true.
Out of character wise, at least one of the shadows that was following us when we first came back to the city at least knows that I am still friendly, and they are okay with that. So there is potential.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And if Marlowe and his crew haven't done anything to make them be loyal, then they could have just been collecting information for 4 fucking years.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, I mean, technically, some of the last things was keep an eye on the nobles. Promote more. Well, keep an eye on the nobles. Keep an eye on the monks. Well, the priests are all dead, so I don't know what goes on there. Morale and then recruitment for this entire organization. So whatever Egan was up to in the last 4 years. By the way, that's your dad, Miana. Whatever he's been up to for the last
I know
4
what my
years.
father's name is.
Yeah. Gotta remind Liana every once in a while.
Well, this is just out of character wise. This is what they were doing before we left. Depending on how much things have happened in the last 4 years, we'll see.
Oh.
But let's go get some semblance of breakfast. And then if people want to help me, capture a live lion, I would be greatly appreciative.
Oh, can't have you out there getting mauled.
That sound insane if I didn't have context for what you were doing.
I think to a degree it's still kind of insane, but I mean, my hope is to kill two birds with one stone. I want to give a proper offering to Garth because, still feel bad. That probably won't go away for a while, but, baby steps. And then additionally, from my understanding with our short chat with High Hand, lions are a bit of a problem right now.
Seemed like it.
Oh, there's that.
Seemed like it. So, Hairstyle unfortunately will not be looking to do the hunting. Hairstyle is actually more inclined to actually continue to do his exploration of the new town.
Is Swalray around the city?
Hey, don't be surprised if you see him dancing as he does it.
Okay.
Okay. So Urstal wants to continue the mapping process. What about the rest of you?
And yeah,
Well, like I said, I'm going with Tilk.
I'm joining
I'd
in
have
on
at least one support out there to make sure he doesn't get murked.
Okay. What did you say, Fisk?
I am joining in on the hunt.
Yay.
Okay.
I might as well help.
Okay. So hunting party and Urstal party.
I think it's
Urstal,
time to
give
talk
me
about other stuff.
Urstal, give me a percentage roll.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
23.
Take a look at this. 23.
Look at this.
You're exploring. You've made your way to the markets. It's at the eastern edge of the city, kind of near the Bashful Griffin. Well, the Bashful Griffin is in the markets, I should say, but it's on the very edge of it.
Like one of the major edges of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just the eastern part of the city, and the Bashful Griffin is literally like the first thing when you come in.
Oh, yeah.
So you're exploring that. There's a decent amount of activity, a bunch of different shops. Nothing super wild in that regard, but you do spot a familiar shadow hanging out in an alleyway.
Does it notice I am seeing it?
Oh yeah,
I
it
will
is
make the greeting.
waiting.
Oh.
They make the universal "come hither" gesture.
I will make my way through the shadows.
And you join the figure in the alleyway, and they kind of lead you down a couple passages quietly, and then bring you through. You're not even sure what it is. It's like some kind of grate, but they open it up and they gesture for you to go underneath. And they join you, closing the grate behind the two of you. And there are tunnels underneath the city, made of concrete. It's dry and empty. Smells kind of dusty.
Mm-hmm.
About
right.
And they lead you a short ways until they find this kind of like nook that breaks off down into a narrower passageway that's kind of tight, and into an open chamber. The chamber is fairly basic: a few chests, a table, some chairs, a few candles.
Mm-hmm.
And the figure finds a seat, pulls back their hood, and you immediately recognize older, little hairier Keegan.
By the god.
You're telling
Good
me.
to see. Oh, good to see you.
I thought you and my daughter and her friends went and got yourselves killed. But seems like that news was a little exaggerated.
No, it was 100% correct. We just got better.
Right. Honestly, at this point, I'm afraid I've grown a little desensitized to it all. Only so much weird shit I can see, I guess.
Well, especially with everything that there is to keep track of in this area. Makes sense.
I take it Liana is doing well.
Yes.
Okay,
She was
that's
curious
good.
about your whereabouts, but seeing as you are one with
I'm
shadows.
yes, I'm keeping a low profile. They know I'm around. That's not a secret. But they are not trying to ferret me out of my holes. So I am abided so long as I don't create too many problems.
Don't rock the boat. Got it.
Yes.
How has the last 4 years wholly been with the Malir development?
Well, he is certainly a character, I'll tell you that much. Truth be told, the initial rise to power was rough.
Kind of guessing.
He started giving orders that went fine for a while. And then he started demanding children needed to be put into jobs that they were suited towards. There was some resistance against that. Anybody who actively tried to prevent that were threatened. If they continued, they were executed. Eventually, the aristocrats started getting a little fed up for having to do work. They started to complain. So he put a couple of them to the sword, or the axe, I should say. The rest towed the line, and when the construction was done, they were rather put out to find out that he wasn't really interested in entertaining them as aristocracy anymore. And before they had the chance to really do much about it, he had all of the men executed.
Like the fossils, basically.
Yes. The way he figured it, with no men, the family lines could not be properly propagated. And he declared any leadership by nepotism essentially not applicable.
Interesting.
It was his fancy way of saying just because you were born to what was once a noble name doesn't mean you're shit anymore. I'm honestly shocked he did not try to kill Tilk upon his arrival, but he has mellowed over the past couple years. So perhaps the worst of it is behind us.
Hopefully. We were kind of surprised to at least see that we were not exactly threatened, or at least overtly, if anything, or at the very
Yes.
least told to leave and not stay.
I will tell you this, though, because you should know the lamplighters are not to be trusted.
They are a new development, aren't they?
Yes, they are fiercely loyal to the throne, or rather, should I say, the king. And while they seem to serve a noble cause, keeping the streets lit and safe both day and night, I have my concerns and reasons to believe that they could be, in a sense, operating as secret police. But they are
we'll take it.
very able-bodied in keeping their activities under the radar.
Intriguing. Intriguing. Hairstyle makes another note in his pad. How has the network been? Or are you just the remainder of what was?
It's complicated. It is technically intact. They are not living as I am. They have, in a sense, embedded themselves across the various guilds. They are leading lives of their own, but they leave me information, tell me things that they think needs to be known. So they are participating, but are playing the part of a good citizen of the now Mallard Bay.
Mallard Bay?
Yes, that is the name of our good city now. The king sought fit to rename it some. He thinks for a moment, scratches his chin. I can't even remember, 4 or 5 months after he took over, something like that.
That will be very sad for Tilk to hear that his beloved Aparo no longer exists. Makes a note of the name. How do you spell that?
Malorbay.
B-A-Y, okay.
Yeah, because it's literally on a bay.
No, I know. The way my headset was kind of lagging a little bit, it sounded weirder.
1L?
Yeah.
Okay. Like my lord. Got it.
I guess I'll put it in text chat in case people need it. I'm surprised y'all didn't pick up on that when I posted the map, because it was literally on the map.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot going on.
That's
Yeah. Well,
Oh, is it
wasn't really
Mallard
looking at
Bay?
the text.
One word. I thought it was Mallard Space Bay. My bad.
no, it's one word. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said it.
Yeah,
Created.
Mallard Bay.
Yeah, because kind of what I was hearing, I didn't really hear the Bay part clearly. I also didn't really hear Malor. I've heard Mallard.
Oh no.
Yeah, I heard Mallard Bay. So
Good God.
That's why I was just like, I know my headset was kind of like funky right there, but wait a minute.
A man like
Yeah, I
duck.
was just about to be like, wow, he gave it the stupidest name he could have. Just to
Hey.
spite
Now I need to put a base somewhere else on the continent that is actually named Mallard Bay and is just absolutely fucking infested.
He's a follower of the first beast. His favorite animal
Duck.
is it just happens to be a duck. Yeah, that's a beast.
and they are
Um,
made of hate.
Good God, there. Anyways, so yeah,
So, aside from his interesting development and the changes he implemented, which have somewhat mellowed out, how has everything for the citizenry? How has everything for the citizenry been?
despite all the work and everything, I would say overall, well, there has not been excessive punishments. Generally, people have done well. There is one sticking point that has been an ongoing discussion in that there are homeless people. There are those that are of the mind that there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to make the coin needed to keep a roof over their head. There are others of the mind that there is enough room, that they should be provided one. It has been, well, like I said, ongoing debate.
Interesting.
It seems there being some folks who can't help but get lost in their cups seems to be persistent wherever. Some of these people have, from what I've known, have been just bad with what money they do make. And some of them, for one reason or another, struggle with staying in a job. And some are, quite frankly, not right in their mind. Granted, it's a small portion of the population, but it's been the biggest headache, aside from, hostile wildlife, is, I would say, a good sign, as opposed to mass crop failures and other such things.
That's good to know, although intriguing development in that regard. Yes.
Yes.
What can you tell me of the what did I hear yesterday from High Hand? There was a development with dragons and an encounter with the Celestial Dominion.
Yes. Well, to be frank, we don't know much about the dragon. Other than anybody who claims to be an expert says it is not a blue dragon, but there are plenty of drunks in the tavern that swear it is. So I don't know much on that front, other than it comes around every few months, prods at our defenses, and then promptly fucks off.
Interesting.
Yes. I can't decide if it thinks it's being funny, playful, or an asshole.
Or all of it, man.
Yeah, could be. Damnable overgrown lizard. As far as the Celestial Dominion is concerned, that flying thing and the group that was on it has been the only indications of them we have seen since our, that encounter back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I'm not even sure how to describe it. It was almost like a boat, almost. It was long, had some depth to it. But it also had these. I don't even know what to call them. They were like tops or something. Some kind of fabric or cloth or something kind of above the vessel and like almost round, like a ball, as if it were filled with something, but there was nothing in them. The way I hear it, I never got to get close, but when they shot, they missed the body of the vessel and hit that fabric, and when it was damaged, they began to lose altitude. And then they were hit more and more, and eventually the ship came down.
Huh.
And once it came down, well, it wasn't much effort to finish off the survivors, way I hear. Went down outside one of the farms by a couple miles.
Okay.
It sounds like most of them died in the crash. It wasn't. I know. I've heard conflicting accounts on how many there were. Some people say it was a handful. Some say it was a dozen. Some say it was 20 men. Some say they were armed to the teeth, and it was a battle to put them all down. He rolls his eyes.
A wry smile appears on Erstyle's face as he makes a note.
But it has been quiet since then. The Rex store, I take it you have seen him.
Rextor. What's
The-
That was
this?
the Dracon that was doing the magic when we met the king.
Ah, yes, that gentleman.
Yes. That flying contraption first went into his possession, and he regularly had meetings with the artificers. Beyond that, any information has been beyond my ears.
Okay. Interesting. So, the magical dragon has some stuff. Okay. Keep an eye on that if possible. Though I'm not sure how long we'll be staying in. Looks down at notes. Malor Bay.
Yes, well, you obviously are free to go beyond the walls and explore the surrounding lands. There's no official adventuring guild like there was back in Adax. However, there's a degree of encouragement for those with the courage and skills to do so. Just mind you, the next time you will return, you will be taxed. So, something to keep in mind.
Okay. Oh, there was something interesting that was encountered when we first arrived. The shapeshifter.
Oh. Yes. The creature murdered a few more people over a few months. They had got pretty close to cornering it, and it got away. And every once in a while, it's been about once a year since another murder happens.
Interesting. At this point, her style is just going to generally sense motive Egan.
Sure.
What's my sense motive again? 25.
You get the feeling the mystery that is this this red vampire, this Corvrig, is something that nags at him. When he's talking about it, you notice an amount of focus in his eyes. Makes you think of somebody trying to solve a puzzle. Vaguely reminiscent of a drunken investigator extraordinaire.
Oh no.
Vaguely.
Yeah, not fully in that regard, but I see the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, it looks like the fact that that thing is still out there is something that bothers him.
That's okay. That's fair. Yeah. Earthdale just makes more notes in his pad. So it's still been around after all these years, and it's still making a splash here and there. Interesting.
Every kill it makes it harder to track. It's another skin it can wear.
Indeed. That brings me to another question. Has my brother been around and faring well in the last years?
Oh. He leans back in his chair and scratches his chin. Right. I'm going to put this bluntly. Jorant never came on one of the ships.
First, I will give Egan a look. Very incredulous look. Do tell.
If my information is correct, Jorant never left Adax.
Erstyle's eyes go from kind of like incredulous to more hardened.
Wait, have we seen him since we came here?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Specifically,
Oh yes.
Earthstyle did.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they caught him lingering in the crowd when we were first doing our investigations for the Red Vampire.
This is also about the time he gave him a hug and suffered a little bit of
Charisma damage, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why initially I was making jokes that another family member's been vampirized.
Wow, right
Now
here.
now Rhea and Erstyle have something to share trauma in.
Fun
Fun.
for the whole family.
Yours and everyone else's.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Ba, ba.
God damn it.
I'm beginning
no.
to think being an orphan was actually better.
Better or lazy?
I wasn't lazy. I rolled the dice. The dice decided I was an orphan.
It is true.
Okay.
He left it entirely up to rolls, and before he started rolling, I made the joke in before orphan.
Yep. No siblings. Both parents fucking just gonzo.
They're a Muppet?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Explains a lot about your character.
I will fight.
Back to the scene though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scratches his chin again. In case I'm not clear in my meaning, that was one of the skins we caught him in when we were about to corner him.
Erstyle turns his entire body and leans in towards Keegan. I need to know. Don't leave out any details about that.
Not sure what more I can tell you. This creature, this abomination, this monster, it takes the skin of the victim, and I don't even know how to describe it. There is this thing in its chest. It's like some kind of portal or something. It hoards skin. And I don't even know, it removes and puts them on like clothes, but with a flick of the wrist.
Huh.
It's disgusting.
All I can tell you is this. As far as we know, it doesn't have. Well, I don't know for sure. But it stalks its prey. I can say that for sure. It learns about them so that it can pretend to be them. It tried to pass itself off as Jorant to me.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us that had cornered it. But when it was clear we weren't buying it, it became hostile. And, well, not all of us went home that night. And he got away.
I see.
Nasty claws.
Erstyle just shakes his head in disbelief as well as anger.
I'm sure it's not easy to hear. But it is the truth of it. And for what it's worth, you have my condolences. And well, if it's any comfort, obviously you are not the only one to have lost loved ones. So, if not with me, then I'm sure you can find comfort amongst your friends.
I appreciate that, Keegan.
Yes. And if you are, well, if you and my daughter and the others are keen to go out into, well, whatever's out there, do be careful. We've not explored very far, but I cannot imagine the rest of this continent is any more hospitable than wherever we've landed.
Well, for where we came from, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I'm going to leave all that in all of y'all's capable hands. My concerns are here with the city. Just doing what little things I can.
Good, at least still see someone trying to keep it solid.
Yes. It's honest enough work.
Our style nods in understanding. Wow. Okay. For what it's worth, good to still see you alive and well. If
Yes. If there is ever a message you need to get to me, you saw the way down here. If you leave it here, I will come across it sooner rather than later.
Understandable. First, I will just look at his notes for a moment, and then he'll give Keegan a nod and make his way back out the way of the game.
Okay. So, the rest of you. Going outside the gate, not a problem.
Yep.
Easy.
They say all. I'm like, okay, it's these guys. Let them through. You all head out. Although, as you're passing the Bashful Griffin on the way out, you do see there's like quite a few of these tiger dogs that are just fucking lingering around the establishment. It's not even open yet at this time. Like, literally, the doors are shut. Like, it's locked. Nobody's going in and out. And these tiger dogs are just fucking hanging out. There's one guy passed out at, like, the entrance of the alley. And one tiger dog is, like, fucking sniffing at him, see if he's got any food on him. They're just fucking hanging out.
You know, if we hadn't died, I was going to at some point suggest domesticating some of the wildlife around here.
I mean, do they have owners? Am I able just to pick one up and have one?
I mean, I wouldn't suggest the latter, but the former, it's probably still no. They don't have collars on them, right?
There's no indication of any kind of ownership on them.
Yeah, they seem to just be, I guess, regulars to the establishment.
They're kind of cute.
They were docile before we left, so I had thought that there was maybe some potential.
They were cowardly. I don't know if docile is the right.
You can be docile and afeared of your general surroundings. I don't think one precludes the other. They mean to say that they were not aggressive towards us like these lions, which would make them good for hunting parties and the like.
Either way.
If wishes were fishes, as it were.
Yeah. Is everybody wanting a lion, or?
I'm just here because you asked.
Okay. I mean,
I'm here to assist.
What are we doing this for?
I plan to offer a live lion up to Gorath as part of my apology. I already made the verbal
yes.
apology, but now I want to actually put some action behind words.
I see.
That was the suggestion Marlo gave, and I mean, I don't love the guy, but he is an authority on what Gorath cares about, I suppose.
No, that's fair. I think I just pulled it out of my memory.
There's also the fact that if there is a lion problem, then if we can call a few and grab one, then that would also be helpful for the local populace.
I think it's weird that there's a lion problem, and he also keeps like 20 of them in his throne room.
I thought it was something like 5.
Oh, I thought there were a lot of them. Am I misremembering?
There's 5.
Oh, for some reason,
But they're dire lions. Like, they're fucking big.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not small animals. Think about, your mental image of a lion and double that.
Yeah, but even so, having it was essentially a pack of them domesticated, and yet having a problem with them on the regular.
Don't know if it was domestication. I got more the sense that they knew that he would fuck them up if they stepped out of line.
Regardless, like having them under his control.
I mean, he's definitely more of the Uncle Bunga, I assert my beast dominance kind of guy.
I mean,
unfortunately.
I assume. I mean, I don't know that well.
To find out, he's rather eloquent. But that's neither here nor there.
I mean, not mutually exclusive.
Fair. Either way, I assume that these lions are. I almost prepared a spell for this, but as I read it, I found it only really helps me identify the creature's type, which I don't need to do.
Scan the lion to make sure it's a lion.
Yeah, it's know thy enemy, but all it does is help me. It gives a +10 bonus to identifying the creature type, which not helpful. So first we need to figure out where they are usually accosting people. I imagine that'd be more useful to ask the people out on the outskirts, as they're probably the ones that have to deal with them the most. So the farmers and miners.
Well,
quarrymen.
One moment. Dang, okay. I thought I had speak with animals as a witch. All right. Well, I suppose yes. Let's just ask here at the gate, like where the most attacks have been happening, and that can orient us in the right direction.
All right. So.
Yeah. So, talking to one of the guards, it sounds like attacks aren't necessarily constant. They happen on occasion. Just the nature of being outside the walls. There is a group of dire lions that are like trying to claim the area's territory, but every once in a while, one of them gets killed and they fuck off for a couple months. He will kind of point out the general direction of where they're kind of noted as kind of hunting and stuff. but it's not really known where they kind of like sleep and such. He says if you really want to go kill them, knock yourselves out. There's no bounty on it or anything. But like, not go crazy, I guess. He's very like, I don't know why you would go do this, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are fucking weird. Assuming you are committed to doing this.
It's a Goreth thing. Some of us are just here to help.
Right. All right. Sure. I will tell you all this. Unless you run into, which you're not going to do this close to the city, unless you run into a massive group, you're kind of beyond them being a threat to you.
They're not our CR.
It would take twice their number to really be, well, they're a single dire line to CR5. But I want you all to understand you took on at level 2 two CR5 ethereal spiders.
That's true.
So between your sleep shenanigans, also like you're level 4 now, if I recall, or level 5.
Level 4.
Totally level 5.
Between
God, I wish I would have Phoenix shit.
Like between your health, how much like they do a notable amount of damage. Like they are dangerous animals. But they do not have like uniquely high ACs or any magical abilities or anything. If you want to go kill a pack that is, not like twice your number, which is a thing you can do. Getting that is not necessarily we need to like role play this out and do a combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we can establish how much time it's going to take and we can say it gets done, because you're not a bunch of commoners that need to plan, track, set traps, bait, and all this stuff. Y'all can, assuming you make survival rolls, track them down and magic sleep them and bind them and bring them back. It's more about the bringing them back that's the hill to get over here.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are going, pick somebody to make the survival roll. Or you can do a group check, and if too many of you roll poorly, well, sucks a suck.
Well, my survival is all of 2, so I can make it. I put a rank in it so I don't get meticulous penalties. But I'm not exactly an expert.
I mean, I have a 0, so
I have a 1, so
I have.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god! Is
I'm
my
the-
survival the best in the group without there still?
What did you say yours was?
+3.
Yeah, then
yes.
yeah, it is. I was about to make that joke because I
Ooh.
Well, I can't.
I have.
Well, I can't talk no jutsu the lions into following us to Gorath. I have a 16 diplomacy, which is great. What?
Yeah.
Don't think the lions want to have a conversation, so.
Maybe they will. We can cast Awaken on one of them and see.
I'm not casting Awaken.
I don't have that spell, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to assist on a survival roll.
might as well.
Yeah.
So let me just roll a raw d20 here for you.
Oh yeah, roll it, bud.
Oh,
So y'all go out there on this mission.
I'm
yeah.
assisting.
Well, let me roll my actual survival roll because apparently
Oh, right.
Yeah,
can't
that was just the
believe
assist.
I'm in charge of this operation. All right. 1d20 plus 3. I have 1 rank in this. I've just increased my
You
wisdom.
want a
when I
mythic
got to-
sturge.
Yeah,
I mean, I
you
can do
want
that
to
after I
surge.
roll.
That's fair.
Would you like to max out? I mean, surge.
I mean,
Are we roll maxing?
I'm going quantum.
God.
19. There we go. Now that's a
I'll
respectable.
surge it.
No,
What
that's
the
a
hell?
25.
25.
4 plus 6 for a 25. All right.
Yeah, I'm feeling unusually confident about this today.
Yeah. So you all head out. You go off of what the guy suggested, and you just kind of start logicking your way through it. Okay, well, they said it's out here. The attacks generally happen around here. They're kind of off in this general zone, and so you start picking through the zone, and after a while, you start to find, droppings, tracks, so on and so forth, and then you find evidence of a kill. And then eventually you find a group of 3. It's 1 male, 2 females. They're snacking on a what looks to be a goat. And they're kind of aware of your presence. Y'all stay at a far enough distance that they don't immediately run off, and then you do the magic shit. And there's not much they can really do about that. So you magic them, knock them out. How do you want to go about bringing them back?
Oh, we only need 1, but if we take the 1 male, then that might go at least some distance towards solving the problem people are having if there are just fewer lions being made.
True.
I don't know if
So
there's
at
only
the
1
same-
male around, but there is right here.
At the same time, if we have more offerings for Gorath, then perhaps it might bestow extra a little bit of ambivalence.
I'm down to try to drag 3 lions. I'll do it.
I don't know. I'm
Do
here
you
for
think you
Tilk, not
can?
Gorath, so
Below Hercules Labors or something.
yeah. All right. Let's see. How far away are we anyway? By the time we.
That's true.
You're probably a good 4 hours away.
All right.
Maybe we can Tilk can get going what was started, and we can see about putting together a sort of impromptu sled device.
That's what I'm thinking. I can summon some riding horses for quite a while. They won't be entirely real due to being made of shadow stuff, but I mean they're not fighting, so it isn't really a problem.
Yes. Well, I mean, if they can drag the corpses or sleeping beings properly, then I suppose it doesn't matter, right?
True.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Can you resist an illusion while asleep?
Questions for later.
Pretty sure no.
Oh, are you asking in character or out of character?
That was amusing in character.
Okay.
I don't know. We can find out later if you want.
I mean, we won't have the lions later. But I suppose there will be many opportunities to figure that out.
I mean, we sleep. Mostly.
Glares a little bit at Tilk.
I feel like I should actually know whether you can resist an illusion in your sleep or not, but I don't know out of character.
I'm going to fix that last bit, Tilk. As soon as I feel safe.
Keep your pants on and help me tie them up.
Let's see. What kind of vegetation and whatnot is around us?
Grass, bushes, the very occasional thin tree.
Enough for us to make a sled.
It's going to take a while to gather enough wood to make a sled.
All right. Well,
This region is not very well defined by thick trunked trees.
Mhm.
The trees are, calling them trees is a little generous. Their trunks are not much thicker than your arms, and they don't have like a dense canopy of leaves. Yeah.
Well, we might be able to lash together some sort of frame from the tree trunks we have here and pull a bedroll over it or something,
I mean,
so we can at least move some distance. And we could always get Castian's help too.
yes, it shouldn't be too hard. Well, we're a bit far for Castian. We'd have to go back, then come back. Well, I suppose that would end up still being only about 4 hours.
I mean, it's the same distance for us.
Yeah,
And I don't
well,
think it's a lot
what
of
I mean
effort
to
for
say
Castian.
is, it'll. I was about to bring up issues, but then I realized Castian is very fast.
But if we do that, then we don't really need help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if maybe a frame and bedroll fabric type of thing will help. I
Yeah,
can just buy another
if
one
we can
later.
just get a frame that can withstand the dragging, that should be honestly enough. We only need them to be separated from the ground.
Or maybe carry it between steeds if they're, well, they might not be strong enough to do that.
I
And
mean,
I've
we
got
could just drag it across the ground.
yeah,
Actually, you know what? Could a light horse like have a lion on it and still move one of these? Or is that too much weight?
A light horse? Too much.
It is a dire
That's not
lion.
feasible.
I mean, the lion's bigger than the horse.
Yes.
Damn.
Could the horse move? Probably. For long? Probably not.
You should learn gravity magic so the light horse can carry it.
Obviously. Get your shit together.
Do a Radon style.
Yeah.
God.
I came out here to get one. I'd be happy to try to get all three, but the logistics are too much. We just take the one.
Yeah, I think taking the one is the way to go. I can also just ride back to Castian and just bring him here if you want.
I am hesitant to have Castian coming in and out, because then they're going to ask for more of Castian or try to utilize Castian, and we still feeling out the situation here. Or they'll view it as a threat and try to shoot it down. Either way.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's a card we keep up our sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. All right, so back to the sled idea then, I think. That's probably our best bet.
Something basic, something quick that we could put together. That way I could just drag one or more along, or the horses can help. If we can't make it in like 30 minutes, screw it.
So how are you constructing the sled?
I think if we can put together a frame of trees, or tree trunks, I guess we might be able to pull a bedroll over it, so that there's fabric kind of stretched between it. I don't know how
trying to.
I've never tried to do anything like this in real life, to be honest.
Yeah,
I have.
The tree trunks don't need to be that particularly thick. Wood tends to be somewhat hardy.
Oh, yeah, it's just a matter of if you wanted to make an entire sled out of wood, it's going to take a decent amount of time to gather that much wood.
Let's just
we just need the frame.
gathering wood to do the frame, that's much more reasonable.
Mhm.
It'll probably take you gathering the wood and trying to make a frame out of it. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna take you about 2 hours. It's a basic sled is not that complicated to make, so I'm not gonna ask for any kind of crafting roll or whatever. You essentially are just trying to make something that you can drag a body on. That said, a lion fucking heavy. It takes multiple of you to, well, let's be honest, all of you, to get one of these things on the sled. And it is going to be a group effort to drag this thing all the way back.
I'm sure I contributed greatly
Oh, yes.
with the speed of strength.
The mostest.
Well, at least once it's on the sled, I could use Shadow Conjuration to summon or to cast Mount and have a horse do the thing. So there's
I
that.
can also cast a mount. We could just have a pair of horses dragging the sled.
What's the duration on both of those?
2 hours per level.
Okay, so you're doing the same spell. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I'm doing a non-shadow version of it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just mechanically the same base spell.
Yeah.
I didn't prep that, so never mind. Don't worry about it. Well, animal purpose training is a spell that I have access to.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you conjure the pair of horses. It's dragging a line like that, especially between two of them, a lot more feasible. It's not fast going by any means, but it is a steady pace. And it'll take you about 4 hours to get back. So the sun is already like gone down, and you're actually like getting a little pressed for time to make it to the burrow, while the conjunction is open, as it's nearing the sunset is coming near its end. By the time you reach the burrow, but you're able to make it there and bring this dire lion in. Now, I'm not going to do the Gorath voice because my throat is fucked.
Because I'll die.
I haven't strained it or anything this week. It's
Rough.
it's
My-
just feeling
I'm
rough
the
right
same
now,
way.
so I'm not going to push it.
Unplayable.
Gorath in general will be surprised that you had such a quick turnaround time, but is pleased and satisfied. But doesn't say much else. He does not seem to be. Now that he has something to play with, he doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood.
Yeah.
And he does not kill it while you're there. He lets it continue to sleep for now.
I mean, if the point of bringing it alive was for the sport, that makes sense. I imagine he'll.
Yeah, he wants the hunt.
Lion is going to be in for a rude awakening.
That line is fucked.
Buenos dias, fuckboy.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be animal abuse if we weren't literally doing this for like the first animal.
That's why I asked if it was a faux pas.
But also, like, he intends to eat it. He's not doing it, like, for pure fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tokul does not want to be trapped in there. He had that experience once, doesn't want it again, and will graciously bow out.
Well, you did.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
We all did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
the time
we
we all
fought
died.
him. I thought you meant
Yeah.
like you just got trapped in there overnight and had to just.
5-minute adventure.
I think
In an
you
hour.
remember you were the one scratching at the walls for several rounds,
Ah, my fingers still hurt.
desperate to get out.
Eh, It didn't work very well.
Well,
No.
I
Truly.
guess if Gorath is not going to be up to talking, Sveta isn't going to try to like push.
Well, the time for the conjunction is really short. You don't really have time for a conversation. Like you have like what amounts to 5 minutes to dip in, drop off, say your pleasantries and fuck off.
Here's my next question.
Yeah.
Can I ask him if I stay here, like from one conjunction point to the next conjunction point, is that bad?
Are
Essentially doing, I guess, not right now, obviously, but like a sleepover.
Mom, can I stay the night?
you don't have any reason to think your health will be in danger if you choose to stay there.
Well,
Gorath might be a little annoyed if you
Oh.
don't ask and you just stay.
No, yeah. My thought is, he's a god. It's a demiplane. It's time, shit, other things may not work as
It's not a demiplane, it's a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he
it's
clarified last session. He's on Nominar.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was asking. I'm like, are you on Nominar or are you actually stuck in this cave specifically? It sounds like it's just
No,
Nominar.
that's right. You're right.
Yeah. This is just his cave on
Yeah.
Nominar.
I didn't have that in my notes. I must have missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean that's something that's doable should you so choose. You just, you're stuck there until the conjunction opens again.
Yeah. So,
Or if you want to get a little wild child and try to go conjunction hopping.
I gotta
yeah.
find another conjunction.
Yeah, and see where the fuck that goes.
I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that on my own. I like being a PC.
Damn, it's worth a shot.
I guess I'll request with him. Like, obviously, I'm going to leave him to his hunt tonight. But if the next conjunction cycle, would it be okay if I stayed for a longer conversation?
He thinks about it for a moment. But then agrees that would be fine.
It's very much appreciated. And with that, get ready to dip. Anything else to say?
Style.
Hello.
I'll say you have the major details of the layout of the city mapped out. There's still a lot of alleyways and smaller streets and such that you've got to do. But today was very productive. And you have from what you can tell is all the major streets and everything for the entire city done. As well as some key locations. Where's the head of the where's the Artificer Guild located? Where's this? Where's that? And you your makeshift map, you've got things kind of marked off on where some kind of key locations are.
Where are the lamplighters? Ah, yes.
Yeah, the Lamplighters, their headquarters seems to be not on High Street, but effectively a few blocks down from High Street. Technically speaking, they would be in let me pull up my notes. Technically speaking, they would be on the Gilded Strip, which is the southern portion of the city where most of the guild headquarters are. But they're kind of like on that border, the border closest to where High Street is.
Okay. That makes sense. In case the king needs them as soon as possible.
I cannot confirm or deny. We all have a productive day. And I'll say it's about 17:30. Well, for those of you that have been out of town all day, you're kind of fucking hungry.
He did.
Yeah.
Kind of skipped breakfast and accidentally skipped lunch too.
Yeah. I started the day with literally being like, hey, let's go get breakfast together. And then Lion Hunt happened. The opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that escalated quickly.
Erstyle, you've been in the city all day. Getting food has not been a problem for you. So if you want to have bought a meal, especially like a cheap street meal, like a silver piece.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
Style also would have been chatting with like the locals as he's going about.
The cheap street food is essentially these salted chips that you saw at the Bashful Griffin. There are other places that sell them.
Even some like salted chips, maybe maybe a random street vendor has meat with their stuff.
Yeah, like there are some like smaller like shops and stuff that do kind of like they specialize in different things, and like there's one shop that is definitely this is food like you can eat while walking, and it's predominantly wraps and those chips. But they're unlike the Bashful Griffin, since it's pretty much mostly just wraps. It's a bunch of different wraps. There are some of them that are just like potatoes and like goat cheese and stuff like that. And then there are others that are like filled with fish and stuff, as well as wraps like the one that was had at the Bashful Griffin.
Okay. Yeah.
But that is also cheaper than the Bashful Griffin because it is overall less food and,
maybe not the same
it's
quality.
a cheap option. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Ursula would have probably at least got something to snack on as he's going about the city, especially because that would be a great time for him to actually mingle with the locals. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, talking to the locals throughout the day, some of them like kind of remember you, some of them don't. And is there anything specific you're questioning them about?
For this day, not really. He's just asking about like, hey, I'm kind of new to the city. What's a nearby area or nearby establishment that I could probably go check out?
Yeah, a lot of the people that vaguely recognize you are like, "Wait a minute, didn't you die?" And that's a recurring question you hear throughout the day.
Clearly
aren't
not.
you dead? Like, aren't you dead? I got better. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean they're down to like tell you about like these different places you can go for stuff.
Cool.
It's mostly like service type stuff of like blacksmiths, guild halls,
No.
places to get food, all kinds of stuff like that.
I mean, I'm not really doing much different than before I died, and now.
Yeah.
So.
The hunting team. Would you like to get dinner?
Yes.
Yes. Food
I've
would be
still
nice.
not eaten, so yes.
Where go?
How much was it at the Bashful Griffin again?
Bashful Griffin, it was like what was it? I think we said it was like 2 silver.
1 second.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
like
5
silver for a general meal, and I think like not the expensive drink.
Yeah, 5 silver for the brisket, 5 copper for fire water, 5 copper for mead. I didn't record the other ones because I didn't break anything else.
Yeah, it's a good meal, so it's 5 silver for the meal. Yeah.
Tilk is primarily just wanting a couple of wraps.
If you're going to the Bashful Griffin, it's still going to be 5 silver because they actually give you like hefty wraps.
Okay, that's fine.
Those anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that were super spicy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We established early on that I cannot handle spice.
Tilk will request that they make it as spicy as possible.
Oh jeez.
Oh, they'll fuck you up. They'll fill that fucker with that hot sauce. It will ruin you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Important.
Don't die to internal injuries.
Important.
You ask for it hot, and the half dwarf that owns the establishment, his name's escaping me, Tavian. Tavian just gives a hearty dwarf chuckle and says, "Okay, bud."
we determined very on with a natural 20 that it took us a very high spice tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah. And a mug of mead, 5 copper. The firewater was I think I treated it as a
You also said 5 copper for it, but I don't know if you want to.
yeah, that can stay as 5 copper. That's fine.
Tilka's just going to go with normal water.
Yeah.
I think there was. I'll probably get the brisket again, but with some kind of like whatever vegetable-ish side they have.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, there's like the salad. You can. It also generally comes with like a roasted potato.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, however much that stuff costs, and then just water as well.
Yeah.
We've
Like
been
the brisket. The brisket is like a full proper meal. That's why it's 5 copper.
Yeah.
Or
sorry, 5 silver. Yeah.
Oh, I want brisket. That sounds awesome.
Looking at fucking money. Sure. So yeah. And water is pretty much nothing.
Till can always cheat to get alcohol, but he's not going to. He's trying to stay alert.
Don't do that in the Bashful Griffin.
So yeah,
seems rude.
Whatever y'all are ordering, deduct the costs. Your time in the Bashful Griffin is pretty peaceful. Goes undisturbed. You do notice, like, when it does open, some of the tiger dogs that are outside, some of them kind of come and go inside, and they seem to be in the habit of, not really begging for scraps. People just kind of every once in a while offer them some, and every once in a while they come by the table and, like, nose up at the tabletop, wait for a moment. If nothing is offered, they just move on.
Might be a bad idea, but I'll give one a bit of my brisket. Does that near?
Oh yeah, it'll gently take it, chews it, kind of hangs out for a few seconds, and then goes about meandering.
I'll administer scritches if possible.
Oh yeah, they will totally not shy away from you if you pet them. Unless you pet them in a way that they do not find nice.
I mean, I'm not going to, violently pet these creatures.
Yeah, no. As long as you go along with the coat and are fairly gentle, they do not seem bothered. But they do notice if somebody moves suddenly or, starts towering over them, they do kind of, they don't flee necessarily. But they do move away.
Yeah.
So, Zach.
Yes.
How busy is it inside the tavern?
It's not packed, but there's a steady flow of people. There's a good amount of merriment. Every once in a while, there is one drunk guy who starts singing, and there are a couple others start singing with him. But yeah, it's not slammed or anything.
During one of the songs that people eventually get themselves into, I'm going to cast Detect the Faithful.
Yeah, okay. What does that do?
You can detect other worshippers of your deity, mortal worshippers, outsider servants, and so on. The amount of information revealed depends on how long you focus on the particular area or subject.
So here's my question for you.
Yep.
Have you changed your deity?
I still follow Nalzandros.
Okay. Yeah, it's just Head here who's
Headyear can stuff a cactus up his ass.
So this is
Nalzandros is undecided.
This is verbal. This is somatic.
Yep.
I thought you meant that he was
One
verbally
up
saying,
to-
hey, you can shove cactus at his house.
1 minute per level. Cone shaped, 60 feet. You detect other worshippers of your deity, outsiders, servants, and so on. Okay. So where are you gonna just like slowly over the next few minutes just kind of like swivel this cone around the room effectively?
Yeah, like the goal is to sit there and once I get it cast during a song, kind of like schmooze, go from like corner to corner and kind of
Yeah.
get a grasp of what's going on. Because I remember this room being long. I don't know if it was 60 long, but
There are a few individuals that notice you casting the spell. It's not clear if they know what the spell is, but they see that there is not hostile intent happening. But the people who see the casting are definitely wary. They don't do anything to stop you, but you are aware there are eyes on you. Because this is not something you're able to do subtly.
Nope.
And you kind of casually make your way around, and you don't really find anybody. At least not here in the Bashful Griffin. There are no worshippers of Nalzandris here.
fair enough. It was more confirming what I already assumed.
That the re-religion campaign has been pretty
Successful.
effective. Yeah.
So, while we're eating and everything,
Yep.
what are our plans going forward? Now that we sit here.
I
I'm not
mean,
really sure.
I want to essentially talk to Gorath as much as I can, but I'm finding not a lot, at least in the immediate, that binds me here. There's a great amount out in the world that I'm finding I would much rather take my time with.
I
Well, John.
mean, I have family here, but at the same time, I kind of worry that if we do stay here, we could fall into complacency.
Mm.
I care about the people here, but seem to be doing fine without us. I at least don't think they specifically need us that badly. And I mean, given what we have to do, I definitely think it's best that we focus on improving ourselves if we can, however we want to do that.
Mm.
And
I may have some
we
ideas
can-
on that.
We can use this. I mean, for lack of a better place right now, this is somewhere where we can rest between whatever the things we're doing is going to be for now.
Yeah, if we are at least welcome here, it could be a
and
decent base of operations.
and our improvement isn't mutually exclusive from helping the people here. We've
Yeah.
only been here for not even a full 2 days. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how people are doing. We still have questions.
Yeah.
Um,
I would like to look into dealing with that vampire at least.
that is, and then that is something that I am very concerned about. Because let's say if that thing gets a hold of someone influential, then the situation could turn terrible damn near instantly.
Admittedly, I do believe a threat like that needs to be handled regardless of whether we intend to go or stay.
Yeah.
Additionally,
Could handle that and then proceed to kindly fuck off. If
If
that
we
is
want
our
to.
intent.
I think there's a good chance the vampire came here with us from Aldfair and originated from.
I find it too much of a coincidence that there would be one here where we landed. So I'm almost certain it would have snuck him on board from ADAX.
Yeah, I mean, given that we came from escaping an undead horde, I think that's a lot more likely than just wandering into the settlement out of the
Well,
woods.
given that we know that there were at least a
There were other vampires too.
amount of vampires in ADAX beforehand, even before an undead horde invaded, it makes sense that some of them may have chosen life. As it
Well,
were.
I think, yeah.
I additionally want to check in on the people that we had made connections with already and make sure that they are all right. Personally, I still want to talk to my cousin. I've been
Yeah,
dead for 4 years to her. I barely was able to make time for her when I was in charge.
Yeah, I do need to find Thera. And just, or Thera and my father and let them know I'm all right. I'm also curious about Axon's situation. What happened?
Ray smiles. Riley. Oh, let's hope we don't run into my brother.
That would be
Rough.
not great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we had
We didn't exactly leave off.
I imagine we would have seen him by now.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the red vampire is able to take the skins of other kinds of vampires.
I don't see a reason that would preclude them. I may not grant them the same type of benefits that taking a human skin would, but
I'll say I've already taken that into consideration. I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I will tell you I do have the answer.
Oh man. Hey,
Lovely.
what's the answer?
I hate it.
I am blackmailed. I cannot reveal pertinent information.
Excellent.
It was worth a shot.
Go fuck yourself.
There's there's also, and one of those contacts being the most difficult to likely get anything truthful out of. She was already cagey to begin with, but the situation has become more complicated, and that's Silvermoon.
I mean, I can get answers out of her if you need.
I'd rather her be willing to give them over. That phrasing does not.
Yeah, I just want to talk to people.
That's not what I mean. I'm not intending to threaten her.
Oh, okay.
I just have magic at my disposal that makes such things a little safer to do. For example, like when I pulled the memories from those departed elves.
I mean,
she doesn't risk a spy overhearing. It just seamless transference.
If you're able to get in contact with her and do so, more power to you.
Admittedly, I did have the idea of seeing what one of the collegiate back so subservient when they were, I'm going to say combative as a nice term, beforehand.
Well, I didn't really get the chance to talk to her in particular. She was busy when I visited, so I don't really know what she's like.
Yeah, we were there together.
Oh, right. Though I suppose we also don't really know if that position is considered subservient or not. That might afford some power. Who knows?
I mean, I suppose I am working off of the information of she was physically hanging off of the king.
Oh, don't worry. I do think it is likely that it is a subservient position, and I'm kind of worried, but we just don't have information.
Well, let's keep an ear to the ground and not stir any waves right now, and try to just, I don't know, solve the problems we can while learning more about the situation that we're currently in. And I mean, do what the Adventures of Legend do, I guess.
Drink and make merry.
Well,
Fight dragons and stuff.
You know,
I guess that's a choice.
High Hand said he talked to Silver Moon before, right? About her position.
I mean, yes.
But he wasn't able to determine answers.
I
Now, High Hand isn't the most adept at seeing past some the facade of some people, especially one as expert as Silverhand. But what if I was able to give Earthstyle a glimpse? That might be at least able to, even without raising suspicion or having to go out of our way to put Silverhand in an awkward state.
Silvermoon.
Silverhand, sorry.
But I mean, I'm whatever way you can find out if she's all right. That's what I care about.
I guess let's start
She-
with High Hands.
Yeah, she was a good person. She liked to gossip, but I mean,
She seemed very independent when we had her on the council, so seeing her like that just feels
off.
a little awkward. Yeah.
I mean, seeing anybody like that feels a little awkward, to be honest.
Yeah, but especially
But
one
especially
we
someone
know
we
that
knew
felt
who-
their idea, their concept felt antithetical to that.
Yeah. I think the Axone kind of falls into that category for me too. The collegiate in particular were very intent on solving this problem themselves in the way that they knew how, at least. And I mean, wizards as a rule tend to be fairly independent people, or at least we try to. Though independent might not be strong enough of a word. There's a reason Sherlock warned me about hubris so often.
I mean, one of my primary concerns is whether or not that she's constantly in the palace or whatever that place is called. To be harder to get a decent conversation with her, because I have ways of figuring out if like she's being manipulated as well. But I mean,
Well, why don't we talk to High Hand about it? And he should be able to provide us with more thorough information than just the vague musings that we had before. Now that we've determined this to be something we want to investigate.
If my father is still doing what he was doing before, he might be able to help out too. He's good with
True.
information.
especially
And
if
or
the
they're still, or both, you know.
yeah, especially if the old network is still kicking about.
Yeah, I have no idea if it would be. It's been so long, but maybe.
Let's see about finding Earthstyle, and because I'll need his help for this.
I have a few ideas on how to find the wretched thing, whatever its name it says it is.
Whoever's skin it's
Wow.
wearing. It's been years. I can't imagine it hasn't taken additional victims.
Oh, I have a thought.
Mhm.
Should be able to find it. Because if I'm correct, it's still an undead creature, right?
Yeah,
Okay. I
I
have
know that much at least.
yeah, I have something for that. I need to think on it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we
All
each have a couple of tasks to get to.
I would like to see if I can get my hands on one of those devices that High Hand used to identify us as not shapeshifters. Maybe I'll make a trip out to I assume there's a storefront for at least one storefront for the Artificers Guild somewhere.
Hmm.
I don't know how much something like that would cost, though. Possibly a lot.
Well, the worst thing we can do is find out.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have like a bounty board or something. I'm just gonna see if there's anything that the town itself is in trouble by.
I mean, we could always talk to the Artificers Guild and the Alchemist Guild, see if there's anything in particular that they need.
That's true.
I imagine there's plenty for us to do here. I don't believe that's going to be an issue. This is still a growing city.
With a lot of problems.
Yeah. If we stay here long term, we'll have to worry about money, though.
I mean,
since we are being charged rent now, so we would need to find some way to have a sustainable income.
And we would ask for due compensation for performing such tasks.
Yeah, if we find the vampire and manage to take it out, I don't imagine that we won't be at least able to negotiate some reward for it.
That would be nice.
That said, can I flag down one of the like servers?
Yeah.
I have a question for them.
Sure.
Can you tell me about these tiger dogs?
What do you need to know?
Well, last we were here, they weren't exactly people friendly. These ones seem much more sociable. Do you keep them? They seem to just wander about.
Yeah, they don't belong to nobody. They ain't really sure how it really happened. They just kind of got used to us being around, and I guess curiosity got the better of them. And some folks started feeding them, and more of them started coming around, and now they just kind of linger. Good help, though. I mean, back last time when that weird fucking I don't know what they were calling it, but weird creature skinwalker thing or whatever. They lose their minds anytime it comes near. So never killed anybody around here.
That's really good to know.
That is very telling. Thank you.
Sure.
Do they have names? Like, have you been able to determine just between them and name a few? Or is that just above they're around thing?
If anybody's bothered to name them, nobody's told me.
Okay.
I have an assumption.
What?
Assumption for what their names are?
No, why they're around more, other than just like curiosity.
Food smell good.
We're convenient.
I'll say Gorath's influence, I think, is affecting the environment.
I believe because Gorath, they led me in one of my prayers to the entrance.
I did not know that.
So,
I suppose that would give them some sort of link to the first beast, though I imagine the first beast has a link to all wildlife in some way.
Yeah, they could just be, preferred. That's neither here nor there.
I wonder if that conjunction being there is why so many of the animals here are so large.
Where can I get some of that?
What the?
I mean, I can make it
Gorath
larger. It's
juice?
just temporary.
You did not call it Gorath juice. I'm going to have to ask that you refrain from that.
Why? I don't understand.
I'm moving this conversation along. But no, it is good to know that these react around skinwalkers.
And I'm gonna like see about offering some food to one.
I would, but mine's covered in fucking hot sauce.
That would be mean.
Yeah, I mean, they willingly take offered food.
When they take food, is like take and immediately back away, or like would I be able to slowly reach out and like pat one on the head, or?
I mean, as far as you can tell, it kind of differs from them. There's definitely like some are a little bit more brazen than others. So yeah, I mean, the one you feed, it might linger there for a moment, especially if you keep your hand near its muzzle, as long as you're not trying to like, evict the food from its mouth. It will allow you to pet it.
Okay.
But there does appear to be a threshold. You cannot pet it forever. It's like after a minute or so, it kind of is like, okay, I've had enough, and it walks away.
I might see about handling animal on these things a little later.
A dog with a cat's attitude. God damn.
Foxes?
No, cat's attitude, not predilection to jump on top of everything and piss on everything.
That is the thing foxes do, I'm pretty sure.
That is one of the things.
Yes, foxes.
That is also a thing.
Notoriously pissers.
Oh yeah.
Takes the piss right out of you.
Yep.
So I know we ask this question often. Where's her style?
We need to have an intervention on him just like disappearing, or
I say we do one intervention at a time. I'll go last.
no, you're first, motherfucker.
Mostly because we can find you.
Yeah.
Go the fuck to sleep. I think that would be a good time to jump cut to a little later in the evening where you all make your way back to your apartments, where you are able to actually reconnect with Erstyle.
Erstyle is actually messing around with his front door to his apartment.
What you
Yeah,
do?
as far as you can tell, your door has not been fucked with while you've been gone for the day. And the note you left on your cot is still there.
Did you already lose your key?
No. I'm just checking out how it works. Yeah, no, Erstyle's messing around with the door to see how the lock works.
Is there something you want to know about the door?
So, it seems to be a pretty standard key lock.
Oh.
Erstyle, have you ate today? Or have you been fiddling with the door all day?
I think that's how he gets his sustenance.
Erstyle looks down at his notes, flips over to a couple of the pages, and just shows Hilk the map he's made of the city so far.
Oh, never mind. It's notes that give him sustenance.
Right. That's shame on me for not assuming that notes provide you sucker. Well, I mean, this is detailed.
Yeah.
That was a fairy.
Yeah, actually, no.
Jesus.
Hey, don't have one yet. In any case, no. Actually, Erstyle will just actually look at the page he opened it to, and it points at like two different spots. Yeah, I had some food while I was walking around here and here. Yeah, pretty good stalls.
Well,
If you ever walk around those areas.
As long as you're eating. We did successfully bring a lion back to Goroth.
That's good.
As
long as you maybe get some sleep one of these days.
I mean, if you magically don't need sleep, it's probably fine. But it is pretty fun to rack on you about it, to be fair.
I will say that
There's a god of sleep somewhere that just shakes their head, looks at the camera. It was not fun.
I will say, as I did not take the time to prepare such a spell for me to do that, I will have to sleep tonight.
Do you think you'll be more tired by the time comes than you would have been otherwise?
Well, if I don't come out of my room, you'll know the answer to that. As I have very little prep that I have to do as compared to the rest of you.
Fair.
Yeah.
I just have to snuggle Harrison for a little while.
I mean, I haven't really changed a whole lot of my stuff for a while, so it'll last.
Do your things have expiration dates? And if they do, has this expired yet? Because it's only been a month, or has it been because it's been 4 years? You.
Technically, because I died, it's expired. But I can always make more.
You know what? That's fair.
I will tell you, in games I run, potions can expire.
Potion can expire, except for this is not a potion. This is an extract that it specifically states.
I'm just letting you guys know.
Yeah. Also, don't extract
That, like,
expire.
I'm very much into the idea of potions expiring, or at least 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. What was your question, Damiani?
Don't extracts expire on the daily anyway?
No.
Like, you have to remake them every 24 hours, if I recall.
No. Not really, no.
Cool.
Really?
Then...
Yes, because of the way it works for infusions. They do not expire until I either change it or I die.
Cool. Then, Ursula, you want to do an experiment with me real quick?
You're gonna probably use that thing to go hunt down the red one, aren't you?
No. Because technically water was used in this, right?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Why?
I cast Enhance Water.
Are you gonna try to turn your cough medicine into cough medicine hard?
So,
I mean, do you want the big boy version that I have?
The more contaminants that exist in the water, the darker the ale, or the more full-bodied the wine becomes. The beverage's alcohol content is not affected by the presence or absence of contaminants. I prepared the spell today. I'm going to use it.
Wait, is it
You know that's perfectly fine, because technically speaking, the extracts are just made with whatever I choose to say they're made with.
Okay. So you have effectively an expired extract, and you want to turn it into an alcoholic beverage.
Yes.
Yeah, still, what are those made of?
Is it specifically a wine, or is it like what is it?
The spell transfers water into an alcoholic beverage, typically ale, beer, mead, or wine. The alcohol is middling quality but perfectly drinkable. The spell also serves to remove poisons, disease, minerals, or other toxins from the water as it transforms.
So I'll tell you this. You cast a spell. In this, Ollie, what are your extracts in? Are they like in like vials, flasks, bottles? Like what's the look of your glass instruments?
I really hope he's not out here using his extracts because they can be made of anything.
It kind of actually really depends on what was on hand at that time.
Yeah, I mean, extracts.
We'll say it was like a kind of like a thin bottle. Like a long, thin bottle.
A perfume
with a cork. And so and it has like this typical like light reddish coloration to it. Although it's there's definitely stuff that has settled at the bottom from the extraction kind of not, working anymore. So it's a little lighter at the top, like it's starting to separate out a bit.
I'll give it a swirl before I cast the spell.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, you swirl it and it's like suddenly like cloudy in like a fuzzy kind of way. And you cast the spell and it gradually darkens until it's black. And you can see this like misty white cloud that is formed at the top of the liquid surface.
I'm gonna drink half of this, and if anyone else wants to try it, feel free to.
It certainly is enhanced.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of curious about that. So yeah, I'll take a swig.
Rhea,
I'll pass.
Sfera,
I mean, sure, I could take a sip.
to our health.
I'll pass, but I want to
So-
drink this.
To your unhealth, maybe.
You
Yeah.
uncork it. And this like white misty fog cloud kind of slowly pours over the lip of it and kind of dissipates into the air. You all immediately catch like this, like it's almost like this bittersweet sort of scent. Like, oh, it's like, oh, that smells kind of nice, but then it like almost like burns the inside of your nose. It's like, oh, fuck. And you immediately get the impression the smell is going to linger.
What kind of alcohol do you turn
Um,
that into?
We don't know yet.
Oh,
I'm asking.
so
No yet.
I'm assuming you're going to proceed with drinking half of this.
oh yeah.
Okay. So you put your lips to it, and are you gonna like be slow about it, or are you just gonna be like shotgun half of it? Just go.
Just shotgun half of it. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, you fucking quick tip back down and just immediately feel it washing over your tongue, down your throat. And it's like it's cool. The liquid itself was not cold, but you feel a cool sensation wash over the inside of your mouth. And you get like this really weird mix of like, for a second you think mint, but it's not quite right. And then there's this vaguely like black licorice aftertaste.
Ha!
And then it burns. And it's this weird, minty, black licorice burning coldness in your mouth.
Make
And it just lingers, and you can still smell it. And you can like taste the smell in your mouth too.
Did you
Oh my.
just make Jägermeister?
I hope so.
Think so.
When he exhales after swallowing this, you all can see like little puffs of that white misty fog coming out of his mouth and nose.
That's not bad.
And this shit, very alcoholic from what you can tell.
Oh boy.
It's strong as fuck. You're guessing, if you knew alcohol percentage volumes, you're guessing probably somewhere around a 50, maybe a 60.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Any takers?
Yep. Pass it here.
All right. Then I think Sveta wanted some too.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Takes a swig. Oh. That's definitely a flavor.
Yeah, similarly as Ursa's talking, you see that like very faint white misty fog coming out of his mouth and nose.
Ah. And
Look, Style, you're
there we go.
Dragon 2 now.
Here you go, Sveta. Let's go.
I've heard
She'll,
alchemists to use
even-
their extracts to give themselves draconic breath weapons and such.
Yeah.
I could have.
I mean, there are those alchemists. Well, I think one straight up does do that.
Yeah, there's an archetype that does that instead of bombs.
Yeah.
But that was
Well, there's
the honest
also
thing to
just
like.
straight
Yeah.
an extract that is that spell.
Oh yeah,
There's a couple, yeah.
that was the
But yeah.
thing after saying like, yeah, I've heard of that being a thing.
Even having seen two of her compatriots not immediately die from the liquid, she's still going to give it like a tentative sniff before drinking it.
Oh yeah, the smell you smelled before, super strong. Like the entirety of your nose was like burning with that smell.
That is smelling salts at that point.
No. No. Or at least not the way I make my song salts.
It was a metaphor.
If you go in for the sip, you get the same exact experience as the other two. Very strong and a weird taste.
Yeah.
Ursa,
Don't
Yes.
too often. That
if
is very unique.
is very unique. If you have stuff that expired in the past, I'll take it off your hand.
We'll let you know. We'll let you know. How long do you want it to be expired is the question.
That is an interesting question. I guess it depends on how long this counts as expired, whether or not it counts as 4 years or a month.
If I know my magic, I don't think the length of expiration particularly matters. Just the method of spoilage and other contaminants. I use that with heavy quotes.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
starting
we'll
to
see if you will worship the latrine in the next couple of hours.
So that's also that's a question I wanted to ask earlier. Are there outhouses, or do we have like bathrooms?
Yeah, there are outhouses.
Okay.
Are there
Yeah.
outhouses on each floor somehow, or like do we have to go all the way downstairs?
You gotta go downstairs.
Every floor has a set of squatty potties that are just a balcony.
Jeez.
There is effectively a latrine. And every so often it gets cleaned up. They have not reached that point that Adax was at yet.
If indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
But nope, Tilk will actually go to bed tonight. Sleep like a normal person. Like a square.
So Telk,
Oh.
you sleep dreamless. You just like a brick. You lay down in the bed, close your eyes, out. Just gone.
Probably for the best.
Dead to the world. The rest of you that tasted this concoction, you have some weird fucking dreams. Just imagine some borderline acid trip stuff, and that's vaguely what you dream. Just really, really weird shit. But otherwise, no health side effects. I will leave it to your imaginations, whatever the fuck you dream. And maybe we will find out what those dreams contained next time. Because I think I want to call the session there. Before we get into deep shit.
Yeah, before
Wait, what kind of deep shit are we having next?
I did want to relay to Erstyle that I will need his presence tomorrow.
Okay.
Which means he cannot just fuck off without telling me.
He didn't really just fuck off. Y'all were going to help Pilk with his thing. Hairstyle wasn't looking to do that. He wanted to go explore the city. That's not really fucking off. He just chose not to go with the rest of the party to go do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Well, we will find out what Sveta has in mind next time.
And Tilk will try to get more water.
I don't want to get into, because y'all are kind of talking about maybe investigating the Red Vampire, talking to other folks. And yeah, I think this is a good stopping point.
Yeah.
So we will pick up next time.
Thank you everybody for listening. We hope to have you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.